It was really the first engineering competition like this that SEDS had ever put on. And, what happened at the University of Michigan is that at many other schools, SEDS is an engineering project team. But due to unique history of Michigan, it sort of broke off and it's more of an outreach, such like awareness raising organization. So we saw this as like our chance to sort of like get back in the saddle and actually make a project like a lot of the other chapters do. And Mars is just cool. So we took a very different approach in that there's a very big CubeSat program at Michigan called the MXL, the Michigan Exploration Laboratory. And about 2 years ago, they did a senior design project for a global satellite communication network around Mars. It was much smaller in terms of the bandwidth and the mission requirements than the one that ultimately had to be done for satellites around Mars. But we decided to sort of base it off that because a lot of the groundwork, like the orbits, the form factors of the cubes were figured out, and we sort of enhanced it, increased bandwidth, increased system lifetime for this larger human mission. Now, the competition was kind of vague as to like who your end customer was. It sort of talked about Mars One, it sort of talked about something else. So we went under the assumption that it was NASA was our customer. It's called the Evolvable Mars Campaign. NASA's like current working plan to go to Mars. So we assumed, first 10 years in being in support of a Mars sample return mission, like a bigger version of Curiosity, and in 20 years supporting four crew members on the surface of Mars with full-on mission control level like telemetry, like what the ISS has, that kind of about that range of uplink, downlink. That I had to quote a professor I talked to at MIT yesterday, that comms is something that everyone wants. Everyone assumes it's going to be there like water from a tap or electricity from a plug. No one wants to pay for it. It is a huge piece of infrastructure. I had to talk to, I worked at Lockheed Martin this summer, and I had talks with colleagues who worked the deep space networks so that like MRO and Maven could communicate back to JPL. The DSN is a massive piece of infrastructure. It is really old, it is kind of clunky, and that if we're going to send people to Mars, we need like that entire thing needs to be just revamped. And it's a huge, comms for human Mars missions is a huge engineering challenge. I think the biggest help was I worked on the Orion program at Lockheed, and a lot of the way that like the project was organized, how meetings, how you would talk to contractors around the country and make decisions. We were all off doing our own thing that summer, internships, research. So being able to like come together remotely, on the internet, through email, through teleconference, and get stuff done. That was a big help. But really, it was just trying to find what were our strengths and just playing to those strengths. So you probably say that our design is deficient in some really big areas, but it's also really strong in others because that was the strength brought to our team by the members. Those are two very separate phases, going to Mars and Kana. Going to Mars, I'd like to say, finally with SLS and Orion, and those are exploration systems. So wherever they go, it's going to be exciting, and hopefully they go to Mars. Colonizing Mars, that's tough. There's a bottomless list of basic research questions we have to answer first before anyone's living there long term. Like if it turns out that human bones just can't hold together in 1/3 gravity, then sorry, game over, gotta go colonize somewhere else. Or that if the cosmic radiation dose is just too high, or to have children, too bad. I met someone named Dr. Jim Logan, who was a former NASA flight surgeon, and there's an old NASA motto apparently. He said it's called "In God We Trust, All Else Bring Numbers." So right now I'm just a junior undergrad aerospace engineering, because I feel that most of the problems for long-term space exploration, colonization are humans. I feel that humans are the weak link, and as Dr. Logan would say, we are still in the scurvy era of spaceflight, So I, for my graduate studies, want to make a shift towards more of the bioastronautics, either here at MIT or CU Boulder perhaps. But really, how do you put the human in the loop and design a system that humans can interact with? And I think a lot of engineers think of humans are machines that are either alive or dead.